Why is it that narcissists make people believe, even their significant other, that they don't need that person, that they can discard that person? And when they do discard the person and the person ends up healing, why does that rub the narcissist up so badly? Why do they get so shocked when their former significant other moves on? Narcissists, they believe that they are ultra special. They really do. They believe they're above everybody else. And if there's anybody who they don't feel that way about, they tend not to make that person part of their life experience. Narcissists like people they can tower over. And because they're so good at projecting all their problems and negative feelings onto others, in particular their significant other, their cohabiting partner, their long-term partner, that primary supply figure, they do come to believe that it is the other person that has the real issues. It is the other person who's always struggling, and the narcissist has it all figured out. It's because they found someone or some people who have a habit of accepting the narcissistic projection that the narcissist regulates themselves into believing that they are above the other person just because they're passing their own feelings onto the other person temporarily. Such that narcissists, they get used to it. They get used to being in that towering position over other people, knowing they can look down on others. By the way, before I forget, I just wanted to quickly mention that I am posting more on my other channel as well. It's called Chilling with Joe, and there's a link in the comments box. So if you haven't checked that out yet, I would suggest you do, because I've been posting more videos there and will continue to do so. Anyway, so narcissists, they get used to being in this position of towering over other people. And in time, because they're so good at deceiving themselves and deceiving others, in time, they do believe that the other person has got issues, that they are dependent on the narcissist, and the narcissist is the independent one who can carry on well without anybody to support them, to regulate them. They don't realize, narcissists tend not to realize that they need other people to regulate them. So even if the narcissist breaks up with their significant other or ghosts them, because the narcissist at some level knows or feels that the other person is in this negative space, they still feel above the other person. And that's an acceptable position for the narcissist. Narcissists are okay breaking up with people, pushing people away, if they're absolutely sure, if they're fully confident that they still do tower over the other person. Like if they were to meet up with the person, spend time with the person, that they would feel that the dynamic would support that the other person still looks up to the narcissist. The other person still feels that the narcissist has things together, is more collected, is more confident, more dominant, got more going on for them, and so on. And that's how narcissists like it. Narcissists, they usually just get comfortable letting people go. People who were once important to them, people who once supplied them. Narcissists are only ever comfortable letting those people go out of their lives when they feel that they've put themselves in a position above them for a while. Nothing's ever perpetual. Nothing's ever permanent, in a sense. If the narcissist puts you down and makes you believe that you'll never be up to scratch to be with them, that they're onto something better and you'll just never be up to scratch, they might be confident that you'll feel like that for a while. But after some time passes, and it's usually after a few months, then they know there's always a risk that you could heal and bounce out of it. And when the supply that they're getting in other areas of their life are not quite as good as it used to be, then they want to reestablish the knowing that you are in the position you're meant to be in, which is in that kind of half-broken, half-devastated, inferior position, to say the least. But it's when you do start to heal, it's when you do start to bounce out of it, it's when you start to see the light, and the narcissist hasn't been a part of your life for some time, but they kind of realize what's happening. and you're starting to feel good about yourself, this gumption, kind of like this source, this kind of like the energy of the universe. You're starting to feel good about yourself, not being dependent on any other person, but it's rather you just being connected to, you know, your best self and the world around you. The simple things. You're tapping into, just good energy, confident energy. You're just at ease and peace with yourself. And when you start finding that space that we all have the potential to find, when you're with narcissists never let you connect. They never really let you sustain that connection with, for the lack of a better word, all that is, kind of that energy that abounds, that doesn't really come from anyone in particular, but it's kind of like if you just kind of contemplate and just kind of stare out into nature, space, you start feeling this good energy. You can kind of hold on to that and connect with that, and then just, it kind of revitalizes you and all that good stuff. So narcissists, they don't ever want you to be in that position where you can connect to things like that on a sustained basis, because when you have the narcissistic influence out of your life long enough, and you start connecting into all the good stuff and start feeling good about yourself and more confident, and you're taking positive action in your life on a sustained basis, then all of a sudden they're becoming a distant memory of your past. They're fading away. And the narcissist feels that they're fading away. And they're also feeling that they're no longer in a position of superiority over you. And a lot less, they're losing any power over you. And narcissists don't like losing that power. They don't like losing their position of being above you, and they don't like losing their power over you. And if you think about it, those 2 points are very well connected, because it's only when they have the power to be able to keep you in a low place can they tower over you. And that power comes from deceiving you into believing that their negative projection upon you are actually your own issues, that their negative traits that they project upon you, they make you believe that those traits are actually yours. So yes, narcissists do get quite shocked when the people who regulated them because they felt that they were tower overing those other people, when those people all of a sudden are uplifted and the narcissist is no longer part of their life, and then all of a sudden the narcissist feels that they're not really towering over anybody or not enough people, that they're kind of nothing special, then they don't feel so special. They don't feel so grandiose. They don't feel so... their ego doesn't get the stroking it needs. And then that's where they have an issue. That's where they start to feel that they start to crumble. And a lot of times they won't immediately go back to former supply. A lot of times they try to get their needs met through new people. But it's really difficult for the narcissist when they've once held a position of power and superiority over somebody. It's really difficult for them to let that slip and not do anything about it, because it causes an injury. The way the narcissist is made up, the way their disorder operates, the way their distorted way of thinking works, the way they're wired. It's like once they've had a possession and they owned that possession, they don't ever want to lose that. They don't want to all of a sudden... it's almost like they're being possessed by the possession that they once possessed. It's almost like you're possessing them now, because you're getting the better of them now. Even though they're probably nowhere in your thought after a while, if things are working out for you, you're just moving on, you don't really care about them. In the narcissist's mind, unless they're getting very, very good supply needs met elsewhere, and that's always difficult for them to have over time, unless they have this temporary bout of good supply, they feel they're losing out. They feel that they've lost their position of power, they've lost their position of superiority, and that causes all kinds of narcissistic injuries. So that's why they get shocked when the other person no longer needs them. It doesn't always happen immediately. Sometimes there's delays, and sometimes it happens and they feel like crap, but then they find a new supply and it distracts them for maybe 2 to 3 months, and then all of a sudden they revert back to realizing that you, and maybe other people too, they could have other former supplies. It's not necessarily just you. It could be a few other people that are moving on, and it really hurts them. And that's why they always hope that they can still have leverage over you, whether it's posting on social media how happy they are, kind of trying to, if they live close to you and you still entertain them, and if you still entertain them, they might bump into you on occasion, and they know just what to say to kind of bring you down. That's why they like having that leverage with former supplies, but they don't always have it. They sometimes lose control. And that's where they have to deal with their own demons and having to heal from their own narcissistic injuries. But of course, a lot of times you don't see any of that happening. And narcissists don't want you to see when they feel negative. Narcissists are masters at perceptions management. They want all their former supplies and exes to think they're doing wonderfully. And that's the picture they try to paint. Narcissists struggle a lot, but they try to struggle in silence because it makes for a better public image. And it's the image they want you to see. Thanks for watching.